We're right here in Northwest Washington, D.C. and today we're going to be showing you guys how we're going to address a German cockroach infestation, which is what we have here. So the first thing we're going to do is empty out all these kitchen cabinets so that way we can spray in them, in the cracks and crevices of these cabinets. The kitchen area, we're going to move the stove, the appliances underneath the kitchen cabinets, underneath the sink. That way we can access where the roaches are nesting, right? And we're going to spray down there, which is going to be an encapsulated formula residual product that we're spraying down. This causes the roaches to be uncomfortable. This causes them to crawl over the product. When they do, they absorb the product with their feet. That will break them down from the inside. In addition to that, we're also going to do some dusting with dusticide. And when they get that on themselves, that actually desiccates their body, means it dries them out, which also kills them as well. Also, we're going to use more in a gel form. They actually consume that, and that also kills them from the inside out. When they defecate, the ones hatching out from the eggs actually feed on their parents' poop. And the poop contains this product, which also kills them as well. So gelling actually gives us a series of kills. So a combination of spraying, dusting, and gelling is what we're going to do to eliminate the roach infestation here. This is probably going to take probably another 2, 3, maybe 4 services because of how bad the roach problem is here. I've been here previously to do an assessment of the roach problem to help us identify how bad it is and how many sequence of services we're going to need to get done to eliminate this problem. All in all, we'll do whatever it takes. We'll come back however many times it's going to take to get this problem resolved. German cockroaches are nocturnal. When you start moving things, that starts to expose them from their hiding places, they start to run. So I have to make sure I have everything that I'm going to use to treat today. So as I'm moving things around, I'm giving myself the opportunity to spray to kill things off. So now I'm going to move all these edible products. No, edible like salt and pepper and stuff like this from the customer's homes. I'm going to move this to the dining table area. So that way that will give me ample room for me not to get the product into what the customer is going to be consuming. Contrary to what folks think about German cockroaches, roaches, the number one attracting factor to roaches is moisture, water. So if there's any plumbing issue in this home, which I'm yet to discover, that would have to be fixed for us to solve this German cockroach problem. Moisture is the number one thing on the list for roaches. The second thing on the list is heat. And then the third thing on the list is food. Roaches will eat anything. They'll eat the carpet, they'll eat the glue of the wall, they'll eat drywall, they'll eat anything. But what they cannot do without is moisture. And what they can't do without is heat. That's why behind refrigerators, behind stoves, in the kitchen cabinet, where it's dark, is where you see them typically nesting. And so when I'm done moving all this stuff out, then we're going to start moving the appliances to really get to where the roaches are. Right now you don't see too many of them. You just see maybe one here and there running around. That's because they're buried underneath these appliances. So we're going to have to get there to be able to eliminate these roaches. So they're typically nesting behind all of this. See, these are sputum. This is what we call sputum, which is a combination of droppings and regurgitation from roaches. And that's what the young baby ones feed on as well. So you have this nice cork in here. You have a nice heat from the water tank. That's when you see that roach moving in there. That's why they typically nest in the thermostat here, which generates heat. And there's also some sweating from the pipe, from the water, which is who like to nest in those areas. So all these brown things at the bottom here are all droppings from roaches, shells from the eggs hatching out, and also the old ones dying off. These are also signs of German cockroaches. See some of those guys around. So this is the cabinet there, so it's not too bad. Got some there. Now we're gonna go through the drawer where the customer's been storing a lot of things. So clutter like this also helps promote infestation of roaches. We're gonna see if this cabinet comes out, which it actually does. So we're gonna move this, sit this on the floor. 3 places we're gonna get activity is gonna be behind this fridge, behind the stove, and underneath the sink. So these are egg casings that has hashed out. These are empty shells. They were all sitting out here underneath the toaster oven, nice and hot, and feeding up the crumbs from bread. German cockroaches is one of the fastest multiplying insects there is. Some more eggs right here, some more little ones hatching. See the little tiny ones? Those came out of all these egg casings. Spreading around. This is what you call an infestation when it gets to this level. And then now, I'm gonna move the refrigerator out this way. See if we have a leaking problem here, because I do feel some wetness on the floor. That tells me there's probably a water problem here. So, all down this floorboard, have the roaches moving in. Those are dropping sputum all down there. I'm gonna spray products in here that will get the roaches to scatter, right? And then the roaches are all under this board as well. Can't seem to lift that. There's this smell of roach infestation. It's a sweet, pungent smell that I can smell right now that comes from roach infestation. And that's how, as soon as you walk into a home, you can tell if there's an infestation going on or not. Another thing we're gonna need to do, we need to take these off, because the roaches are behind these water lines and behind the model back here is typically where they would nest as well. We're gonna slowly peel that open. So you can see all these signs of dropping. These are all nesting signs right here. So they typically go towards the model back here, nesting inside of here. So I'm gonna spray all inside. You can't dust in here because the fan comes on and it blows the dust all over. So the safe thing to do is to spray around these areas. Since I can't get these boards up, I'm gonna soak it with the product. The spray, they're gonna run across it and they're gonna absorb the product with their feet into their system. But the gel is something they're gonna feed on orally. And so these are applied on cracks and crevices. So typically around crack areas, you try not to spray over the gel. That's why the gel is applied after the spray. So if I choose to gel areas that I sprayed before, that means the spray is not over the gel is over the spray. So that way they can still consume it. Believe it or not, pests are also very picky with what they eat, how they eat, how delicious the food is. If it tastes funny, you're not gonna get them to eat it. So the roaches are all in these walls, up in all these different areas. That's why you have to gel for them. Open up these cabinets. What signs of roaches around? You gel so they can consume the bait. Where the roaches typically are, as you can see them coming out. They're typically around the door hinges. So you want to gel. Only some food for them. The company that makes this product does a very great job. The product is great. It does what it's supposed to do. Now I'm gonna move these back. Since we've treated this area, it's sprayed, we've gelled. I'm not gonna apply any dusticide in this area because it's too sensitive, got water lines and stuff running. So I'm just gonna spray, gel, and I'm choose to dust in other areas. Roaches nesting around. As you can see down here, there's some insulation that has been pulled out. I think there was also a previous infestation of some mice or rodents around here that were removing the insulation from behind the stove. This insulation is supposed to keep the stove cool while you're cooking. But there's also some infestation of roaches all around here. See right here, the gray, black, and white stuff are all signs of nesting droppings. There's a roach right here laying an egg around, small little hatchlings coming out. And also on this side, same thing, where the roaches are going in. This is a very bad infestation. See, that's what you call layers of roaches. They're nesting together. They're social insects. See that cake of sputum droppings are all caked on together. So I have to destroy the nest here. So all around, this product around these guys, all the cracks, all the voids. We'll get the product around there. So now that I've sprayed, now areas like the outlets, like the power cords, which I know they're nesting in here, because I know they definitely have some eggs in here and some little young ones in there. I can't spray those areas, so I'm gonna gel in them around, so as they're coming around those cords, they can consume it. I didn't spray this gas line here, so I'm just gonna gel. Remember, you can't spray over gel. That makes it non-consumable for them. Want to make sure that you apply the gel in areas that you didn't spray, or if you sprayed an area, just make sure that you apply the gel afterwards. The cracks so they can get to it. Around the cabinets as well. One more area we're gonna go to is gonna be underneath the kitchen sink, and then we'll wrap this up. These are all infestations, dead roaches, eggs from hatching. They have, see all of those. So we call superior infestation. And when we move this, we just have roaches buried in here. And so, spray all in here. All these guys nest in here. So most of this stuff is gonna have to be trashed. So I hope this gives you guys an idea of the types of infestation we run into, and how we go about solving the German cockroach problem. This is a very complicated situation. The customer is going to have to work with us to make sure that most of this stuff is cleaned up, removed, to give us access to treat this the way we need to treat them to get rid of this problem. But I'm confident that that would happen. And I'm thinking about 3, 4, maybe 5 services will get to the end of this problem. We had a heavy infestation, lots of roach activity, about a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. But today, there are no more roaches alive. So today we're just going to inspect to wrap up this service.